Is out-of-the-box thinking the secret to good and successful life? Today, Beatrice von Silva Tarouca Larsen as Marja's guest. Beatrice has successful career as vice president in international business. She has 2 doctorates in intellectual property law and philosophy. But there is another side of Beatrice. Today she is an influencer and style icon representing modern woman with a new outlook on life. Let's hear what we can learn about Marja's and Beatrice's discussion and visit London.
Summers come and summers go. This one's very special though. Let go of what you think you know, and you can put a kiss upon a toe.
Hello, Marja, and warm welcome here again.
Well, thank you, Lisa. And we have a very special guest today. Aren't we excited? Lovely.
Yes.
We're going to meet Beatrice. And of course, I have had a privilege to get to know her. But you feel you've known her many years because she's been so many years in our books, hasn't she? So, Beatrice, where are you?
I'm here. Hello.
Hey.
Hello, Lisa. Marja.
Hello.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm going to crack on straight away, Beatrice. We have had so many adventures together. And I think what I've been able to see is another side of you. What a luck. And I just always been thinking that what is your real secret of the well-being? Because you've been all these years, you've been able to sustain it with quite light effort, to be honest. You know, at least it doesn't show outside if it's been any struggle whatsoever. But I think, you know, what I would love to share with you is the 3 sets, kind of main periods of over the decades. And do you mind if we have a look of the year when we took the first lot of pictures? Let's have a look, Lisa, where we can get started. But this was year 19, what was it, 1999?
99,
Wasn't it?
it was 99.
And there you are, looking.
This picture is for my 50th birthday thank you card.
Yes, I remember. It looks very casual though, doesn't it? But I always notice you look better with a big lion or big something. You need some grand background and then you are in your best. Have you noticed that, Beatrice?
No, I don't notice, but I don't mind the vicinity of a big man or a big lion or a big thing. According to that.
But I think where we really catch up with our audience is to bring the same outfit, like you've been running away from your lion, and it looks like taken in the same day. But there's so many years between these pictures. Can you share that, Lisa?
Yes.
Is it this?
Yes, on the left side. Yes. Can you see that? What comes to your mind, Beatrice?
Well, I mean, this is 17 years later, and it was a photo. I mean, I'm so grateful to Marja because she gives me the opportunity to pose in all these pictures, which is great fun and, you know, appeals to my theatricality in a way, which I don't normally live. This was a shoot with one of our great friends, Rob Dickens, who is a fabulous photographer, among other things. And it was a show in one of the galleries. And this is an outfit, this suit, kind of all, what do you call it, all, kind of a leotard I've had for 40 years.
And we still use it. We have to use it because something is sustainable, because we always say that you have to renew. Kari, beautiful Kari Hartley's pictures were the first ones. Kari was specialized in movement and dance and architecture, and Rob Dickens, I think also architecture, but you know, very much of the art. And but I think that outfit is in. We always say change, but your body has sustained. It's your posture, your strength, your flexibility, but something has changed. If you don't mind, I will demonstrate. Can you show it once more, Lisa? Because I find there is somehow awareness and consciousness and self-confidence has built, your expression has built over the years. And it's not something that you try, it's something that you carry. It's a different thing, isn't it?
I mean, you know, the first picture that you showed, I had just stopped my job for various personal reasons, really kind of because we were both traveling too much, and I had to find myself, if you want, because I mean, I had a job, I had a position, I had a status, I could tell people what to do, and suddenly I was nobody, really. I mean, I didn't have this whole framework around me to sustain me or to tell me who I was, and I had to, in a way, go inside myself and find some purpose in life, really. And I mean, I knew I was intellectually very restless, so I knew I needed some kind of occupation for my brain. But I also had, I wanted to do something, to achieve something for, not just for myself, you know. So I kind of decided what I can give to people is give my time, give my interest in them, and try and live a life, find a purpose in life. And that was one of the purposes. And the other one was going out of my comfort zones again and again. And if you do that often and you find you can actually be quite comfortable out of your comfort zone, it gives you a lot of strength and confidence.
Because the self-discipline, what you carry, I mean, of course, I've been lucky to work with her in Opera House, and like last week we interviewed lovely Hannu Huuska, so who actually are disciplined by their profession. But I have never ever seen you slipping out. It's like something like, you call it a self-structure. It builds you a self-structure. I never heard that word, and I think it was really nice. Of course, life structure too. But I don't think you would fit into that outfit because you still wear the same outfit and be so sustainable if there would not be the self-structure. And you always talk about kind of self-pride and the joy to be ready, because when you use words like empowering, that when you know your body, you know yourself. And I think you did work very hard, because talking about your intellectual studies, I mean, yes, you could have chosen something easier than Oxford University and so on, because I said, why do you choose the most difficult subject you can ever find? And you said, I need it. I was interested, you chose something difficult, not something easy. And you could have chosen something more, I don't know, something, no, not easier, but maybe that wasn't
no. Yes. But I think the physical is quite important for myself, and I've learned obviously a lot from you, because I think you have this, your body is this fantastic machine. It's like a Harley Davidson, but you have to know how to operate it. And if you do know, and if you have a feeling that it does what you want, and you are in tune with your limbs and with your muscles, it gives you a great feeling of strength and also of confidence. And you know, if I don't exercise, I feel there's this bag next to me which has nothing to do with me. Whilst if I do your stretching or I do my little rituals that I have, and that's what I found with self-discipline. If you have a certain routine and a certain structure, it lifts you, it maintains you, and it gives you self-confidence, and that's very important. Physical confidence, I think, is very
and I know that, but what I think, I'm really lucky, because I think we've been able to capture on these pictures something about you. If you, Lisa, show the empathy, you can't really pretend this, but I love this playfulness that comes through you, that you are able to express your, first of all, you come to your house and you see the picture, what's behind there. You always feel it's okay. It's kind of,
you will always look better than
summarizes.
You look better than this guy in the back.
Yeah. And you always accept it. And I did try to offer this to my Facebook, but my my facial exercise book, but I don't think my editor quite understood it. But I think your feeling around you, I think this picture captures it. All sorts of people fit into your life. All sorts. You don't never mix with groups. You always mix with people. That's what I remember you said. All kinds of people. So that shows something wonderful. But in contrast of the next picture, can you, Lisa, show the next one? And I think that really touches. I don't know. I think you're able to capture and deliver some sort of a comforting. If someone is sad and so on, and still, you know, these two, I think, are showing a part of you, how you mix with people. And you said you always can give time. And then you told about your mom.
I mean, first of all, I'm lucky because I'm quite optimistic. I'm quite positive in my outlook. That's kind of something I've been given, if you want. I also learned it from my mother, who could really, I mean, she had in many ways not an easy life and has, a refugee and so on, but she could enjoy the moment. She really enjoyed the moment. And I saw that as a child, little things. It didn't have to be big things. And I always thought I don't need drugs because I've got the possibility to enjoy it without this artificial stimulation. You can have a lot of stimulation, like, visual stimulation. I'm very, very susceptible to beautiful things. I can't stop seeing beautiful things, and then it gives me, a lift for the day. And the same thing with people. I'm really interested in people, and I always say to my husband that if you are interested in a person, every person becomes interesting. If you're not interested, most people are boring. But if you are interested, then
oh yeah, that's so. I mean, talk about you draw visual impulses. I mean, I just remember a couple of weeks ago we passed through the same shop. We both looked through the same window, but I don't know which eyes do you hold, because you said, "Oh, what a wonderful coat!" You walked in and you bought it with something like £30 or something, and I realized it really was a wonderful coat. And I thought, why don't I have those glasses? How do you see? Where do you draw it? And you were the one who always taught that never throw the old away. And your style is, let's have a look, some inspirational pictures, Lisa. I mean, it is something to die for. And you say you wear this, not quite regularly, but
yeah, I have this dress. It's always a great success, I can tell you.
Yeah, but it hasn't. Go on. Sorry. You have an influence that once you wear those clothing, we tend to put a little bit more effort on how we.
It's true, but the other day I went to see some friends. We had lunch, and I had a yellow coat, and they said, "Oh, thank God you are coming. You are lifting us all up, with your yellow." And I said, "Why don't you wear a yellow coat or wear some colors?" People don't wear colors, and it's such an easy mood enhancer. If you wear something that makes you feel good, or if that has a nice color, immediately your mood lifts, and people forget about that when they wear.
But you are also very, very skillful with.
So often I go and I am the only person who wears color. So often.
Yeah. Yes. Let's have a look at the next outfit. You also are great with the shapes. So quite bravely, you use shapes which are maybe, this is a fantastic picture. This was Rob's, wasn't it? How the color comes through and the movement travels through. I love this one. And it has this lightness and I don't know, just breathes the whole thing. Carry on, Lisa. We love to see this.
It's a good dress.
It is a good dress, yes.
It's a nice dress, yeah.
Yes, and a nice contrast, I think, also.
Yeah, no,
Carry
it was
on.
a photo shoot, this one.
But this I think is another one that tells something about you. Is not exactly every woman's wardrobe holding these sort of outfits, Beatrice, and they look so beautiful. And of course, you're doing exercises with a wobbly board. But I think
I love the green stripes in the back. I think they look nice.
yes,
The background.
and I think and the contrast what is part of your life. You love contrast, and that's why I think what you tend to mix with, as you said, with different situations in your life. Can you show the one which I see some there is a couple of more pictures. Let's just enjoy them, Lisa. Anna Pomena. This is not exactly every woman's exercise gear. What do you think about this?
I don't know. I completely forgot about this. Yes. Yeah.
I think that's fabulous. I think it's fabulous. I think that allows playfulness. What do you think, Lisa? You can say it in Finnish. I can translate. If something comes to your mind. Jatka vaan. Carry on.
Mä nimesin tänne, että on Beatrice Egypt, egyptiläinen.
Yes, it's very Egyptian. Jatka vaan niitä kuvia, katsotaan vielä.
Yeah. Then we have boxing.
Yeah, then we have another Beatrice. Yeah, this is what I can really relate in you. What comes to your mind about this picture, Beatrice?
Well, I do box, but in the beginning, it took me about 3 years to box without giggling because I thought it was so absurd, me boxing. But now, I mean, when I box, the house moves, and I don't giggle anymore.
Oh,
but it's fun. It's fun, and you can let it rip when you box,
Yeah,
and I do like
good one. This is a good one. But I find something about that boxing, about you, and then the contrast. Completely different Beatrice. A very that's very much the Austrian, isn't it? Yes, yeah. And you said you relate to the Austrian background very, very strongly.
Yes, I do. I mean, my background, Austro-Hungarian Empire is my background, and Germanic, obviously, as well. And I mean, I'm quite rooted in that background. Mind you, I haven't lived in Germany, Austria for the last 40 years. But it's something inside me which kind of roots me to history and to my own identity, which is quite important, actually.
Important, yeah. So, would you like to share something about this time when it's very difficult for many people to make A, decisions, B, commitment, to find the discipline in life, particularly in a COVID time, and you are offered beyond you so many things you've been offered in life. What's your advice? How would you say?
I mean, first of all, I think a certain discipline is very important because it helps you to orientate yourself in a day, in your life. And I was very proud of my son the other day because I was writing something and I was stuck and I couldn't get any further. And he said, "Mommy, I think you should get up. First thing in the morning, you get up and you go to your desk for 2 hours and then you write, and at least you have already 2 hours of the work done." And first of all, I thought, well, my education has had some effect that he tells me to do that. And I did it, and it actually did help me. You have 2 hours already. I did it before I had breakfast and before I got dressed, and I had 2 hours of work done. And it gives you something for the whole day because a certain satisfaction. You feel you have achieved something that's very important. And if you just kind of go around in your pajamas all day and don't get dressed, I think your whole life goes downwards, in a spiral downwards. That's very important. Other thing I've noticed is that, because you couldn't go out for so long, there were no parties, there was no social engagement, so you tended to, not dress particularly. And as soon as I find you have to kind of dress up sometimes, even if there's nobody around, and make yourself pretty, try and dress up as if you went to a party if you don't go to a party, or wear things that you normally wear for special things during normal days. And I think that these are little helpers, little things that help you to mark a day, to mark a week, to mark situation in your life, I think it's quite, and these are easy things to do. You know, it doesn't need a lot. You just need to do it yourself. Little effort with a great.
Yeah. But you also have advice about the much more difficult situations in life. You described the priest you met and the people you carry with you and in your heart, and you're quite capable of drawing in.
Yeah, I mean, that was really a very important lesson for me. I mean, my brother-in-law had a terrible illness and died very quickly, very young. And my sister was completely destroyed by it. You know, it was really, and I didn't really know. I mean, I was obviously also very affected because I loved him very much. And I asked a priest for advice, and he came, and this was a priest who had been a powerful banker and was a late vocation. And I said, you know, how does one deal with things like that? And he said, you know, I tend to not overcomplicate things. I try to simplify things and go from, you know, not over intellectual things. He says, I have this trust in God. I mean, you can have a trust in God, you can have a trust in yourself. And with this trust, I just lean on that. And I just kind of go with that. And that has helped me often. And I think I took that on board, not to overcomplicate things, and just have sometimes, even if you don't trust in God, but trust in yourself, or trust in life, trust in the little things that you can do. And that I think is a message that I would also pass on. You know, of course life is complicated and nothing is easy, but if you reduce it, if only for a couple of minutes or hours a day, I think it propels you further to
contribute more. Yeah, it's an interesting one, because often our life is more defensive by basically. And you are a lawyer. You're a lawyer. Your work has been definitely to protect people, that if something happens, and yet I can see it, that you kind of, whatever has happened, you're very quickly looking at the positive and you move on. But then one thing what I think was also really sweet, because you said about what you learned about people, and you said about how you look at them, and someone you didn't necessarily immediately, because you were very so impressed, and someone showed you that if you have realized she has a very, very beautiful eyes. Can you tell that story? And he said it changed you, and I think it was maybe I didn't expect such advice from you, but it was quite
I tell you, as a young girl,
story.
Went to, you know, very absolute and judgmental, I think is the word, judgmental, when I was a teenager. And I was in France, and we were kind of saying, and I said about a girl, I think, God, she's not very pretty. And a boy next to me said, but she has very beautiful eyes. And I thought, what a good way of looking at people, rather than being, I mean, that's a message, don't be so judgmental, because, you know, that's very easy to judge other people other than yourself, much easier. And if you look at the good sides in people, they become much more, first of all, much more beautiful, and also much easier to deal with. And I mean, the other thing is, you know, you spoke about empathy. And I mean, one thing I really believe, I think we are all in this, I mean, there's this expression, the valley of tears. You know, we are all in this rather difficult life situations, more or less. And I think we have a duty to support each other. I think that's very important. You know, if you have a possibility to support somebody in a difficult moment, in a difficult situation, I think you should do it. It doesn't mean a big gesture, but just with a bit of empathy and trying to see how, maybe trying to cheer them up in a little way. I think that's a very easy recipe of empathy.
That's interesting, and you can see how much you enjoy the little things, and because you live that way. And I have to say, whenever, if I've been lucky to be invited to Beatrice's party, I can say that you are interested of people. You really are, and it's not pretentious. And there is so many different kinds of people I've seen you being involved. And I think it's also gives you a great space to move, because you are able to relate to the different people. So your territory is much bigger. then I felt that, okay, I socialize with similar people who think like I do, and then I feel comfortable. As soon as I move out of that comfort, so I don't know what to say. So thank you for that. We learned a lot. But what's happening now, Lisa? We still have a couple of pictures, and what's happening today? So we're not getting. And this is, I think, is a great message to everybody. That we all age together, and it really doesn't matter. Don't you think? So what do you think about this wonderful picture, still by Rob Dickens? How wonderful day this was, but tell us what comes to your mind about
I
this.
think it is in many ways a wonderful picture, and I only realize now the background, because this was taken, after I think we had the second wave of COVID, and it's a kind of triumphant picture in a way, kind of we getting out of there. We are still there. We have survived in a way.
We needed it.
It's also, our friend Rob, who is not in a very good shape. He did come out and took these pictures, and so that was a victory in a way as well. And in the background there is chaos and destruction, but we are not destroyed.
Yes, and I think also, Beatrice, don't you think this time we need something strong at the moment? And that's why I think behind Lisa, you say, get up. We can't say calm down at the moment, because we are the ones who build the new world, and you have been a great influencer to all of us. And your influence is simply that every time we come to see you, whatever occasion, I don't know the person who doesn't make an effort to dress up a little bit better. And I think it's a lovely influence.
Can't be too bad.
And as you said, the lightness, if we learn to do good things with lightness, it's fun. And that fun is also the skill. So Beatrice, thank you so much for, again, this wonderful moment. We tend to always have fun, and this was definitely out of the comfort zone again. And we're not stopping to take pictures, and we're using Rob as an advisor. Great advisor.
Very fun to see this picture. By the way, there was this 40-year-old bodysuit was there on the last picture too. I just wanted to point that out.
Yes, and it will carry on us up till. What do you think, Lisa? You had something you wanted to say.
I said thank you both ladies about this conversation, and Beatrice, you are such inspiration. We always watching you in Marja's books.
Yes,
it's lovely to get to know you. Yes, and yes, yeah. And if there is someone outside who want to enjoy to discipline, I invite you Marja's next 6-week class.
Oh yes, more discipline. Beatrice, have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you
so much.
Great fun.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. And bye, everybody.
Summers come and summers go. This one's very special though. Let go of what you think you know, and you can